Oh my God, you look so cute.
Thank you. How are you? You look beautiful
I'm,
too.
oh, those thanks. Okay, so can you please introduce us to you?
Yes, hello. My name is Audrey. I am better known as Audrey Girl underscore 13. I don't know. I just like that name. So because it's my name. And I was like, I was in when I started my Instagram, I wasn't like hip with all this like IG stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna try it out and see what this is all about. And what I discover is that through my platform, which is when I saw you as one of your videos, it inspired me so much because the things that you said inspired me to create my own, thing just to inspire women and just by sharing what I've been going through, and just discovering myself and discovering new things that I like about myself, and so it's just amazing. I'm a laughter yoga instructor, which is that what came out of all this learning about myself and what I truly love. I used to be a hardcore sales person. I grew up in sales environment. I used to sell cars. At the age of 18, I was making pretty much like $1,000 every 2 weeks. Like easy money for me. It's always been easy to make money for me. And when it came to love, that was a department that it would literally just boom plummet me, and all of
Mhm.
my hard work would go down the drain because of love. And I was like, kept blaming love and blaming love. And so your breakup diaries, basically, it's real stuff. It's true stuff. And I think that's amazing that you can use your platform to create conscious people, and conscious decisions by that you can observe other people and learn through their mistakes. And you don't have to go through that shit. You don't.
So now I'm very, very curious. Um, you were a car salesman. How long did you do that for?
Well, woman. I said it, so I messed it up. But yeah, I did that for a while. My dad got me into it because my dad used to do that. So he's like, you're really good at talking to people. Like you're not shy. You just go for it. So why don't you just try this out, check it out? Because my first job was at the zoo. I used to work at a zoo, so I was like a cashier, and I worked there, and it was fun. It was a really cool like first job, right? But I was like
Yeah.
not entertained, so I would like call off, and I didn't really care about it. So my dad's like, "You want something cool? Okay, so here's the deal." He's like, "You decided you don't want to do." I decided I didn't want to do high school, and I would just wanted to just go straight to independent studies and get to college. Like I was just trying to do
Mhm.
everything fast. And so my dad's like, "Well, check this out, see if you like it." So yeah, I did. I loved it. And I sell cars for like maybe 2 years, almost like 2 3 years. I was selling cars. I was making good money. Um, I do not recommend working with your dad because if you call off, they'll like, yeah. And he was like, "Why are you calling off? I know you're not sick. Come to work right now." So, but yeah, so I've always liked doing that. And then I got into the business of recruiting. So I recruited for 5 years nurses, amazing, amazing nurses. I hooked them up with amazing jobs. They made lots of money with me. So I've done sales. So that was a different type of sales because you're selling. You're not. I wasn't only selling the nurse, like not selling the nurses, but I was like, I would help them with their resumes. I would tell them I'm gonna pimp your resume, like let me see it. I literally would sometimes get resumes and napkins, and I would transform them into magic and just package this nurse up and sell her through other like facilities around where she lives. She's like, you know what? I can't find a job anywhere. Like, can you help me out? I know how to do this and this and that. And I would get her the job, and that was outside of my scope. So I would go beyond and was a really great performer. And I did that for 5 years. But again, love. I was making really good money. I was making over $20 an hour. Like it was really good. So yeah. Yeah.
So I want to know specifically what transitioned you from that career of being in the corporate lifestyle.
Yeah, right? Like
Well,
I had a really
what was it that transitioned you from that to doing what you're doing now?
um well, losing losing the most, your source of your source of creation. For I'm a single mom, I should say that too. I have two beautiful kids.
Mm-hmm.
um can but there was a point in my life where I lost both of my kids due to a very difficult relationship that I was in, and for their own safety they took them away from me, and it was for a whole year. So that was when I was at my highest, where I was working and I was in that relationship. And I can't talk a lot about it because I am still going through legal stuff. Um, but I do have to say that that was the reason why I stopped, because I was such a great performer and amazing. But when I didn't have that drive to get up in the morning, which were my kids, it's like, what am I gonna do now? Like I'm with this person that I don't even know why I'm with this person, but I'm still
Yeah,
here because I have no one else left. Like everything got taken away from me.
yeah,
And I would just continue going to work because I had to pay my bills and I had to keep working. But obviously my performance wasn't the same. And, you know, a corporation only cares about money. They don't care about you say they care about the person, but they really don't. When you're not being a top performer, they start switching you. So I got switched to the night shift. I was working um, from midnight to 8 in the morning, and then I would have to drive home, get my kids to school, get them fed, and kind of sleep a little bit, get up, make them food to eat, before I went to go pick them up, and then do homework with them, and then go back to work. And I don't have someone to like say, Tab, you're it. Like I'm it. I'm the only one. You
yeah,
know, the dad's overseas, so he's a wonderful guy. He's a wonderful. I have nothing but good stuff to say about him, but he's not here. So what do I do now? So I just had to keep going until that happened, right? So
so
I just like I started doing meditation. Because I was going through a mental breakdown. At a point I had to put myself on check because I didn't think I was gonna survive not having my kids. Like how was I gonna move forward? And it's like my friends were not my friends anymore because they were so upset at me, because the way they saw it is that I chose my relationship over my kids.
yeah,
But when you're not in that situation that I was in, because every situation is completely different. That's why I now I don't judge anyone. Like I don't, because I was there and I was the judge so harsh. And I have friends that are no longer my friends, and if they are, I don't know, right? Because that's what happens when you're in an abusive relationship. You know, everything gets pushed away. Everything, you can't focus anymore. So I couldn't perform, I couldn't sell, and it was like a mental block for myself, like I didn't have that. I had to find it again. So then I started to listen to this YouTuber, Aaron Daughtry, I think. uh,
yeah.
I
He's the
freaking
best.
I love him.
He's the best.
That's when I you know
I low key, I'm gonna marry him, honestly.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, you never know. Yeah, he's really cute too, but so that kind of caught my attention. But I liked what he was saying. He was talking about new things that I had never in my life heard of. Like I was so in this little bubble, and in this little life that I had, that I thought that's the way things were. And I come from a Catholic background, so a lot of stuff did not. I was like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't have to feel shame for this? Like, I don't have to feel that? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm the cause for not attracting these relationships? Like, it's my fault? Like, I'm the nicest person in the world. Like, how can this be possible? And he just kept talking about meditation and how law of attraction, how it works. You have to just make yourself feel that. I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna make myself feel that if I would literally like go and lock myself in the bathroom and cry so I would not be heard crying, you
Yeah.
know? Like because I didn't want, I was just so inside, like it just was keeping so everything inside. I didn't want anyone to know that Adriana, top salesperson, the one that has it all, like that, the one that has it all her shit together, said that would never happen to her. It happened to her. It was like so shameful. And then also that I was not a good mother because,
Hmm.
so I meditated and I started doing mantras and I started journaling. I joined this morning pages with Juliana Huff. That's when I started doing um, the Instagram because she did this morning pages challenge. And if you go into my Instagram, like some of my first entries, you'll see I did my blog. I vlogged because she wanted us to vlog the last one. And I did, and she gave me a shout out. I'm like, oh, yay. She's like, thank you for participating. You're amazing. But, I just basically, it just helped me, she got me started into journaling and how precious it is just to pour your thoughts, especially when you don't have anyone around to talk to. Like that is your best friend. Like you don't have to keep it inside. So that was like one of my first steps to, you know, attracting the type of life that I wanted. Um, and that's how I met my laughter yoga teacher because she is the most, like don't get me wrong, like everyone has problems, right? But she's always in a state of joy. Like she does not let anyone, dim her light. Like she's just such a, and so sometimes you just have to be on that level if you want to start, popping into their field and, kind of like bumping into people that are like you. But if you're not in that vibe, you're not going to meet those people. So I had to get there before I met her. I don't know if you understand that. Is that
No, I
making
do. I
sense?
do. I do. Yeah, yeah.
And so when that happened, it was like really weird. Like, I was at that time, like I was dating someone new. I gave myself a chance, and so I was dating someone new, and this new person was exactly what I manifested. Like, I did a manifestation thing where I wrote down exactly the type of relationship that I deserved in my life. And when I least expected, it was there. It was
Hmm.
there, and she saw the magic in me, and she saw all of the goodness in me that I didn't see. And she saw and believed so much in me that when this woman popped up at where she works, because she's a barista, she was like, hey, I'm looking for someone to help me do YouTube videos in Spanish, and I need someone fresh. I don't know if you know anyone. And she's like, actually, I do. My girlfriend, she's like starting to get into that. She's really good. Like she speaks English and Spanish, and she was like selling me. And so and that's how we met. Like and she was not even from here. She was from Laguna. She just so happens to be in the shop, and like that's how it happens when you're aligned to your purpose. Because after that I discovered that laughter, like it was instant when I met this woman. Like it was instant connection, and my first assignment was to just laugh right there in front of, like, we were in Palm Springs, downtown Palm Springs, like super chic, like super nice area where all the what do you call them, hipsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they all hang out there, and I was like, all right, this is my time to shine. I said I wasn't shy, I'm gonna do it. And I just started laughing there in front of everyone, and she's like, well, you're gonna do this, and now you have to pretend to do this and that, and we don't talk in laughter yoga. We don't talk, we just do this. And I thought it was really weird, but I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try it. Well, like after 5 minutes of doing it, like I just was so like, I just felt so energized. I felt so alive. And like I hadn't laughed like that in so long, like in so long. Like I had just gotten my kids back. So I was feeling so ashamed with my kids, like for like, I'm sorry this happened, like I'm sorry. And you can't, when you're a parent, you can't have that attitude with your kids either, because they will take advantage of you. Energies are
Mm-hmm.
energies.
Yeah.
And if you do that, then you will create little monsters. because because it happened to me. Like, there was a lot of guilt with me, with my mother growing up, like certain things that she did, because she was also a single mother. So like, I got away with a lot of things because I was raised as a single kid. So I don't want to raise single kids. I want to raise good kids that need to know that people mess up, and your mom messed up, but it doesn't mean that this is it. It doesn't mean that this is it, and I am not going to throw the towel. I am not going to do that. So laughter yoga is literally what's been helping me. I do that every morning. It's this magical thing that I do for 1 minute and 40 seconds. You just laugh, and I do it, and it works. Like, I look at myself in the mirror and I just start laughing. And it works. I mean, I include that also with, like, I do a little bit of yoga, meditation, but always the laughter. And you have a beautiful laugh too, by the way.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I get told that it's annoying often, actually. Okay, so um, the point of meditation is not to have that 10 minutes or 30 minutes of focus. It's to sustain that throughout your day. So how would you recommend that someone holds on to that feeling throughout their day?
So that's actually something that I got brought up to me today in meditation, because the one thing that I learned is that meditation is life. Yeah, like, your life is a meditation. If you take a second to just acknowledge, you know, this was made by someone. Someone created this, and someone had that idea of creation. And, like, who else but, so even this is something miraculous, like, so it's like, just staying in that state of gratefulness for everything, that will get you to be in that vibration always. Even when they piss you off, you must stay grateful, because that created something in you. And instead of, like, spitting diarrhea of the mouth, is what I call,
Mm-hmm.
which will get you out of alignment, which is what they want. You take it inside and you're like, thank you. I'm no longer going to dedicate my time to you. You just taught me a lesson. Thank you. And you move on, and you don't let it affect you. Because when you do, you are feeding them your energy. You are giving that to them. But, like, that's one of the things that I got in my meditation. I literally, because after you start meditating, first, like, I literally, like, didn't see anything. So you don't have to, like, always be sitting down and meditating. Like, I took a meditation class, and I learned that you can walk and meditate. You can do a walking meditation. So if you're someone that's always moving around, and you can't stay still, so you can go out for a walk in nature, no phones, just you and nature, and just let your spirit take you somewhere. Like, don't be scared, just go for it. Just go for it. What's, like,
I love
just
that.
and just see where it takes you. And that's a meditation, because your spirit will take you somewhere beautiful. One time it took me to a beautiful, like, I thought there was no water, and it turned out to be there was water there, and I wanted to be in the water. And I was like, but I'm in the desert, but I want to be in the water. So my spirit kept telling me, go this way, go this way. I'm like, but that's not the path for the hike. Like, that's scary. Like, I don't want to do that. Go this way, go this way. So I'm like, okay, going this way. Like, 3 steps away, there was water there. So that's how it works. And you just carry that through grateful, 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 and thank everyone and bless everyone. And even when I'm in the car, that's where my laughter yoga comes in handy. When, like, people piss me, like, like, they're, like, cussing you off, or, like, you're, like, blowing their horn, and you can, like, get off and, like, cuss them off or whatever. Just laugh, just, like,
Yeah.
and I can even do it when you get home. Like you get home and you're like, like fuck you, and you can cuss because it's so therapeutic. Like I'm sorry,
It
but it's
is.
so therapeutic. I discovered that there's also meditation where you like just cuss the whole time. Like you can literally just go out in like the desert or wherever you're at and just like go cuss at the wind, at the everything. Like get it all out of you because it's 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 an energy that's stuck in you that's making you feel weird, and sometimes you just need to let it out, which is
Yeah.
why that is why I'm saying like your life is a meditation. Every single experience that pops into your field is there for a reason, and when you see that, then you can become more aware of it, and you can readjust, and you can take the time to process before you act. Because I'm telling you, I've learned this the hard way, like yeah, of times that I have not held my mouth and I should have. So yeah.
So with your posts, you post quotes very often.
Hmm.
So what's your favorite quote?
Ooh. I don't remember like all of my quotes, but I did have one here
Oh, perfect.
that, yes, that I was actually gonna. Because see, the thing with me is that everything that I write pops up in my meditation. Like it's literally something that is like resonating. And it, for some reason, I think it's the way consciousness works is that people, like without knowing, will be thinking the same things. And it's kind of like a little bubble and they attract each other. So you're like, how did I end up with this person that is like literally like, but it's like because that's what you're thinking. So that's what you're attracting. So sometimes when I meditate, I'll tap into certain vibrations. And a lot of the people that follow me, they're like, oh my gosh, like that really resonated with me because that's what I'm feeling. So this is something that I wrote just after. Oh, this I wrote on actually New Year's Day.
Oh,
So I put, we are all expressions of source. Our uniqueness is what makes us special. Although we are connected, we all have different points of view. All is valid. I cannot control outcomes or behaviors of others. I can control my emotions. The energy that builds when I get angry is precious. I will no longer give away what is mine. My source energy is abundant, but can only be generated from within. Nurture the soul, give it love. It will never leave you dry. Because that's what literally, like I just had this vision of 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 innate. When I wrote this, I had a vision of innate, and that's how we are inside. But we get ourselves, we're always a source of energy, and it's always
yeah.
like God's always giving us great ideas and great ideas, but all of a sudden you'll get like a thought in your head and you're like, oh no, that's stupid, like it's not gonna work out, like you were gonna laugh at me, like it's ridiculous, like no, I'm not gonna, and you don't do it. And that's the one thing that would have gotten you recognized. That's the one thing, and then you see like a month later someone else doing that. Don't you get pissed when that happens, that someone else does
Yeah.
something that you thought of? That's because
Yeah.
you thought of it. You created that thing, because we are all creators, so we create that.
Oh,
And if we don't act on it right there, it's out for grabs. And if you're thinking of sales, like anyone can grab it. Anyone that's savvy enough that does not let those thoughts, that monkey chatter in their head, get to them, will go for it. So that's when you become a spiritual gangster. You become
oh, I like
a
that.
gangster.
Oh
You
my gosh, I'm gonna
become
write that. When I rewatch this, I'm gonna write that down. I like
spiritual
that.
gangster.
I like
Because
that.
you,
Okay.
I'm telling you, I'm Catholic. I grew up Catholic. I grew up with a bunch of no's. But I was always a black sheep. I was always getting in trouble all the time. One time my mama got in trouble. She got almost in a fight with a lady because the lady said, no, you cannot have communion. She told me that because I was pregnant. I was a teenager that was pregnant. And how dare she, saying that she's Catholic and you will not judge, was judging me in church. And that is the kind of people that I was hanging out with. That is my Catholic community that shuns their finger on the pregnant teenager. You're not worthy of this. And my mom was so livid because she is a single mom too. She also went through what I went through. And that lady was not allowed to be a part of that choir anymore. Let me tell you about that. Because the priest was like, he talked to me, he explained to me, he did nothing wrong, like Virgin Mary, like blah, 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 like, you know, like what happened, but what comes after this is what's gonna get you through this, you know? Like, well, you become a spiritual
No, you can't.
after you get all those fucking fingers pointed at you. I lost my kids. I fucking lost my kids, and they were like, you're a bad mom. You're not a good person. How dare you do this? But those were just my thoughts in my head. Maybe it's not my friends. Maybe my friends aren't thinking that. Maybe it's just me in my head. But because I got in the way of it, I never made that connection with my friends again. I never reached out to them again.
Yeah.
Because I was ashamed. You know? So you become a spiritual gangster. You don't let those thoughts and ideas get in the way of your future, because here's the thing, is that until we learn the lessons in life, and this is part of the 4 agreements that I told you about that I read, that was like the book that changed my life. We're here to learn those 4 agreements when we come to this earth. And as long as we're not learning the lessons, it will keep repeating. And that is what's called a karmic cycle. And it just keeps repeating. And if your ancestors didn't carry out their lesson, then the next person, the next generation, and the next generation. And it just goes on and on and on until you decide to be the one that says, this is it, enough. And you know what's that? It's those voices in your head. That's it. It's all energy that they weren't able to learn. So now you have to deal with it. But you don't have to deal with it. You can just say, no, that was not me. That's not the person that I am. Those were my ancestors. That's them. I am not going to allow that to define who I am, because I am Mexican and I am a woman. But who says I can't be the freaking president? Because at this point, anyone can be the president.
Literally. It literally, all you have to do is be 35 years old.
I'm 37. What? I'm just kidding. No, but it's like those thoughts that are in your head, you know, like, I'm serious. And I discovered that, and I broke through those things telling me not to. And it was literally also, you know, the person that I was with laughing at me, laughing at my face, telling me like, oh, ho, ho, what is your spiritual stuff going to do to you now? Ho, 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 who's going to come and save you? And literally like grab my altar stuff and just throw it on the floor. And just, I know that was that energy. I know that was not a good energy in my house. Like, that is not the person. So that's why you can't attach your emotions to that person, because that's another soul. That's another soul that's probably damaged and went through shit. Because if they're a person that do that to people, that break people down to that point, it's because they're hurting inside.
Yeah.
So you have to feel, you know, but love and like, just, I'm sorry that you're going through this, but you're not going to leech off of my energy anymore, because we all have our own shit to go through. It is not my job to heal you, honey. You heal your own. That's when I separated that and started doing my own healing. And I didn't care if she was laughing, telling me about being meditating and stuff. I'm still doing it, and I am attracting more beautiful things to me, even more.
So, speaking of more beautiful things, so you have a huge appreciation for visual art. So, can you tell us what your favorite painting is, and also who your favorite visual artist is?
Ooh, well, my all-time favorite is gonna have to be Frida. Frida is like Frida. I have a special relationship with her. Like that was probably the quote that got me through this whole thing was, take a lover that looks at you like maybe you're magic or something along those lines. I believe that's the quote. But that was the quote off of how I manifested my love. And I just was always attracted to that. But I never had painted. I never in my life had like I always wanted to, but I was always busy. And then this pandemic hit, and I was like going crazy, like just, I went through a really rough pandemic start. Let me tell you, it was not pretty. I lost my home. I lost my job. I lost, I lost, I lost a lot of things, but not my spirit. Never my spirit. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna make the best of this. And I found a piece of board that my mom had um in her little, um closet. And I
Closet.
grabbed yeah, sorry.
No, you're okay.
I grabbed some things from my daughter, and I was like, well, I have everything I need, and I created something, and it was like, what the fuck did I just like, I don't know. Apparently I know how to draw and I know how to paint, and I don't know how this all went to be, but I'll literally, so I don't really know a lot so much about art. Like, I'm not gonna say I went to art school and this and that, but I've always been the great believer that if you can say you know how to do something, you know how to do it. And you just do it, and you just go for it, and you just learn as you go. And if you fuck up, shit, you fuck up, and you try it again. It's okay. It's okay to mess up. That's what I'm learning through all this. So that's what I'm painting over here, my little friend.
No, I'm looking at that behind you. So you painted that.
Yeah, I'm painting this
No,
right
you
now.
didn't.
I'm doing this. It's yes, I
And
painted
you have
that.
no training?
No, I've never. I literally just started doing this like just recently. But um,
That's
it's something that
beautiful.
I just kind of.
That's beautiful, Audrey.
Okay, thank you. This is another one that I did here. Let me show you.
You did that.
Yes.
Dude, do you have any idea like how great that is?
And yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. But that's the 8 I was talking to you about. So that's the 8. Here, let me move this. This is basically, sorry, I have my art everywhere. But it's like basically, that's us.
Yeah.
When we're born perfect. We're like a miracle. We breathe. Our organs work without telling them to. We just keep creating energy without batteries or anything. I mean, we need food, we need water. And as long as we do that, we're good, right?
Yeah.
And we can just always be like that. But then society, media, situations start feeding your mind. That's why they say that it's so precious the first 6 years of a kid's life. It's so precious because that's when you can create. Like, that's where they're so magical. But that's
Yeah.
when like they get yelled at and no one pays attention to them, and they tell them to shut up, and you don't matter. Like, I remember getting told, like I would like have conversations, and I remember being told, no, you
Yeah.
can't talk, like grown-ups are talking right now, don't interrupt.
Yeah. Yeah. Same.
Not good. Not good. So I know I'm learning. I'm learning. So life is a meditation. So I'm trying not to do those things when I can, because I still do it. I'll try not to do it with my kids, but I still do it. But it's like, shit. Or and it's good. It's good. You have to learn from your life experiences, I guess.
What's something that you've experienced in life that you hope everyone experiences?
I think that probably my appreciation for the now and where I am right now. Just because, you know what? 2 years ago, I was not in a, I didn't have my kids with me, but now I do. And I guess that you don't know what you have until it's gone.
Yeah.
So I got a chance to experience that. So I think like now and just staying in the now grateful is a good way to be. It's a good way to show people how to be, because right now there's a lot of serious crazy stuff happening in the world that could drive people like insane. So that grateful thing that I'm talking to you about, of like just being grateful for the air, like when we're literally there's nothing to be grateful for because your day has been so shitty,
Yeah.
like I'm breathing, oh my gosh, I have blood running through my veins, that is such a miracle, like it's such a miracle, like just stuff like easy like that just gets you back into your body. And just because, oh, that's what I was going to tell you. This is what happens. We just keep recreating stuff until we learn the lesson. That's what I was going to tell you. We just keep recreating. So right now, with all this fear and everything that's going on, there's a lot of media that's trying to scare people into what to do and not what to do. Like, oh, you should prep for food. So you see people like running and getting food, or there's other people that are saying that the money system's going to crash, right? So they're pulling all their money out, or they're trying not to buy stocks. But the smart people are doing other things. They're just like being in the now and seeing what works now, like adjusting to the moment, to what's happening now. And if you do that, you're going to find your niche. You're going to find what you can do. So right now, I'm not being able to be a server, but I can be of service through laughter yoga. I can be of service of, being someone to listen to you if you have a need. There's something that I can do. And when you stay in service and serve others, dude, just like you don't even have time to think about the problems because you're just in service. And when you're in service, you get rewarded. You do. It happens. It happens. Like it happens to me. To have so many blessings, and I know good things are coming for me, but you have to have faith and you have to stay in joy. The key is joy, because that's how we manifest, and that's how we close the karmic cycle. When we stop listening to those thoughts and getting scared and getting anxious and preparing for the worst case scenario, prepare for the best case scenario, and you stay in the now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. You're such a happy person. I love that about you.
Thank you.
Like everyone. I think every one of your posts is like you're just living your best life, whether it's at the beach or looking at some art or just laying down in bed. You're just you're always just living your best life.
I try to do that, but it really isn't. Like I just try to paint something that I want you guys to like get inspiration from to keep moving forward. But obviously my life isn't perfect. Like I have this stuff happening. Like I'm telling you, I have this court case coming up on Monday. Like it's go time. Like I'm gonna have to see this person that, I haven't seen this person in a while. I don't know what's gonna happen, but staying in the now, it's gonna get me to make the right decisions. So I'm still preparing. I'm still, doing what I have to do, but I'm not letting stress get to me. I'm not letting fear get to me, because I used to do that, and then I wouldn't be able to talk. I wasn't able to function.
Yeah.
Because of the anxiety, all kinds of stuff that I was diagnosed with. It's difficult for me to do certain things. So that's why it's like my number one thing, like just stay in the now, breath work, and just be grateful. You're good. You're golden. Yeah.
Okay, so where can we find you, stalk you, follow you, all that fun stuff?
So it's it's what is it? Adry Girl. So it's ADRY Girl GIRL underscore 13.
And then, do you have any last pieces of advice to someone who is struggling heavily, not financially during this pandemic, but just, emotionally, mentally? What is that? Oh my gosh,
She is
okay. I'm curious now.
Sarada Devi, the Divine Mother. Unconditional love exists within me. The presence of love is the absence. I mean, sorry, I think. Did you
The
get
last
me?
thing I heard, the last thing I heard was the presence of love.
The presence of love is the absence of judgment. The presence of love is the absence of judgment. So if you're going through anything right now, or a similar situation like mine, where you're stuck and have nowhere to go,
Yeah.
do not fear. Just go within and do not judge, because they will be judged. Anyone that harmed you, it will go 3 times full to them. Don't worry about it. Just thank them and for the lesson and move along. Just thank them for the lesson and move along, baby, because you're worth so much more. Like, this is your
Sorry.
light. No, it's
Sorry.
okay, baby, and I think this is
No,
was for
this is
you.
unprofessional. I'm sorry.
No, it's
This is
not unprofessional,
unprofessional.
baby. Let me tell you, this is what I do. Sorry. I prepared myself and I asked cards for this life to share with you, and this one was the one that wanted to be shared. So apparently it was something that you needed to hear. So never apologize for crying. I want you to hear that, because it's something that touched your core right now. It's something that's asking to be healed. So just, I want you to write this down, and maybe I'll send you a picture of it later, but just meditate on this card, because something in there, and you never apologize for it, because it's your inner child saying, that's it. It's pulling on you. It's like saying, that's it, mom. That's it, mom. That's it. That's it. You got it. You got it. So just go with it. That's trying to heal. And once you get it out of you, you're good. You don't have to deal with that monster again. It's out of you. Okay? Just know that the presence of love is the absence of judgment. And it's just good things coming from here when you stop judging yourself. You know?
Sorry.
No.
It normally doesn't go like this.
No. It's good. It's good. Everything's perfect. Everything's perfect.
When did you start getting into cards?
So that's the other thing, is that it just happened like that. So that's when in meditation, 2 years ago, that's when I started meditating. All of this, like, I just felt called to grab a thing cards and just like learn. But I've never been the one to like read and like actually read the whole book. Like, I actually read from, I don't know, I think there's studies on that, but I always read from the back forward. Like, I always want to know what's
Me too.
happening.
Yeah. I always read the last sentence whenever I start anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want to know what I'm getting myself into before I'm like, is this
Yeah.
gonna be good? But
Yeah.
so I did the same with the cards. It's like I just like started shuffling them, and it said little messages on them. My first ones that I bought were these, and it just said little messages on it, and I was like, okay, so I think this means this and this and this and that, and I would just write down what I thought it meant, and then I would go and check the cards on the thing, and it was literally that. Like, I would just meditate on it. Like, I would pull them, meditate, hear it in my head, write it down, and then I would check, and that was it. So I'm like, oh shit. So I do it, and for anyone, and it's like I do it for love donations. Like, I like helping people. I like I like helping and seeing them shine, and it helped me. And if it helps you, then that's amazing. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. But I'm just all about service now. So yes, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good. Yeah.
I definitely appreciate you so much. You're so otherworldly.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, I do think that I'm not from here, but I'm just kidding.
that's, that's a conversation for
I
another day,
know,
I
but
guess.
yeah, no, but really, like, I don't, like, my friends never, like, I never had a clique of friends. Like, if you say, like, what was your clique? I always jumped around from clique to clique because
Yeah.
like, I never was, like, I just loved everyone. Like, I just never wanted to say, oh, no, I'm not going to talk to you because you're this or you're that. And when I was growing up, it was a lot of that. So I grew
Hmm.
up with a lot of racism and all that stuff, like literal, like blacks fighting against Mexicans and the whites fighting against them. Like I grew up in that, and so I got bullied for not wanting to just talk to my own race. So if anyone knows about that, and I got bullied for my accent because I was always getting called a beaner, like so. Like now I don't care. I don't care, and I love my accent, and I think it's very sexy. So I don't care if they laugh about me anymore. Yeah.
Well, I definitely appreciate you, and I definitely appreciate you taking the time to talk with me tonight.
Thank you. No, thank you so much for inviting me. And if anyone would like a reading, this is actually the one for Divine Feminine Oracle. So this is basically like when I want powerful women to like talk to me, like, and so that one wanted to talk to you, but I just do
Well,
it
I'll
for
see you
funsies.
tomorrow at meditation.
Yes, I'll see you tomorrow. But it was so nice
Okay.
talking to you.
You too, girl. You enjoy the rest of your day because it's daytime over
Yes, have an
there.
amazing day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.